Hello, people of Earth, fellow Drops fans. No, let's not say hello, people of Earth, because people will be like, why are you totally going for the alien vibe? Hello, fellow Drops fans, fellow Drops subscribers, contacts, fans of brew guides that we put out for you. My name is Haley, I'm with Fellow, and I'm here at our storefront and playground in our Pink Room studio to talk to you about a really special drop that we have for this week. Not only is it delicious, but 100% of profits from this drop go to the rebuild for Regalia's roastery. Unfortunately, their roastery burned in a really tragic fire last month. We really want to help them rebuild, and we would really also appreciate your help. All you have to do is text us back the number of coffee bags that you would want, and we ship you delicious coffee, and also 100% of the profits go to help them rebuild their roastery, guys. So it's a win-win situation, right? Let's talk about this really, really delicious cup and what we did to brew it. So, as I said, we are featuring Regalia this week. It's a Kenya Gicherori AB. It's washed, and it is super sweet and really, really not as mellow as I expected a washed Africa to be. It's typically, I expected a lot of florals. I expected a lot of, that kind of like mellowness, tea-likeness maybe, because I don't read the bag before I cup or taste coffee, just so I can, keep my taste buds calibrated and all that kind of stuff, and plus it's kind of a fun game. But then when I tasted it and I thought what I thought and I felt what I felt about tasting notes, and then I read the bag, it was like, whoa, this is really, really wild. It's totally an experience in the cup. I'm tasting a lot of dried peach, slash just dried fruit in general, a lot of sugary fruit, and as it finishes, there's like a slight acidity, like almost like a citrus acidity, and just a genmaicha green tea quality to it as well that just lingers, and it's super, super enjoyable and super interesting, really, and just a really, really great cup, especially like the brightness of this cup and the mouthfeel and flavor experience throughout, from start to finish. It starts with that dried fruit, that dried peach, and then it goes into this like sugary fruit, and then at the end it tapers down into this like citrus-like acidity and genmaicha tea kind of vibe. It's such a flavor experience in a cup. So now getting to the brewing, the part that you all came for, not me just nerding out about coffee for a while. I actually pushed the ratio. I tightened it up a bit because even though there's a lot going on with this coffee, I still wanted to push the wash Kenya a bit. So I came back to in between a 14 and a 15-to-1 ratio. So it's about a 14.6 to 1 ratio if you want to get technical about it. I used 24 grams of coffee in. I'm going to come out to 350 grams of water. That is 12 ounces, if you prefer ounces of water. I ground at 4 1/3, so one of the 4 1 tick on Ode plus SSP. My Ode plus SSP is calibrated 5 clicks off chirp. On standard Ode calibrated 1 click off chirp, I would grind it about a 3, maybe a 3 and 1 click. You're gonna go medium, if anything, a little bit medium-coarse because of the higher ratio, or because of the tighter ratio here. That being said, I'm also brewing at 205 degrees because it's not a super, super light roast, so I don't want to extract too quickly, and plus I upped the dose, so I want to make sure that I'm counting for that in temperature and in coarseness of grind, because when you up the dose, generally you have to coarsen up the grind. I know someone said that somewhere, and I'm totally listening, and I can hear you in spirit, in the airwaves. All right, so I'm going to pre-wet my filter / pre-warm my dripper and vessel, as I always do. I always wait for you guys to do that, because if I did that too early, neither one would be warm. It would just be kind of a wet filter and everything would be cold, and we don't like that, because coffee doesn't like rapid temperature changes unless you're intentionally doing it right for like a flash iced situation. but hot to room temperature doesn't always do too well. It often causes the coffee to take on a lot of adverse flavor effects. Hot to room temperature, of course. I'm going to, oh, it smells good, use my funnel to pour into my Stag X dripper the 24 grams of coffee. I'm going to tear out my scale, and then we're going to get to brewing. So 24 grams of coffee, we're going to roughly double that rate when we want to go up to bloom. So here we go. So roughly double. I'm going to go up to 50 grams just to make sure everything is soaked evenly. And then I'm going to let this coffee bloom for about 35 seconds, right between my typical 30 to 40 range. And then I'm going to pour up to 150 grams. And remember, I'm doing a 4-stage pour, which is just a little bit under 150 grams. It's totally fine. You don't really want to go over and over agitate. All right, we're running pretty smoothly here. Oh, I'm really getting that sugary fruit on the nose just as the coffee kind of releases, like as the coffee releases, as the gases come out, just super, super sugary fruit. Really, really nice, almost like a grapefruit acidity on the nose as well. All right, second pour, we're going up to 250 grams in even concentric circles. Remember, it does not matter if you're going outside to in or inside to out, as long as you are in constant motion. All right, and we're gonna let it go for a little bit here. Now this is the point at which, if you wanted to add a little bit of agitation, it probably wouldn't hurt this coffee. I feel like you could probably give a little 5 to 10 second swirl. As long as you do that consistently in your routine, it shouldn't add too much of an extra variable. I know some folks prefer to do that. We haven't generally been doing that here, but I did try it with this coffee a couple of days ago on brew, on filter, and it totally worked out. It was just a little bit of a different, it brought out a little bit of a different side to it, like more of the sugary fruit. And I'm going for a slightly mellower brew. All right, and now we're gonna go all the way up to 150 grams. I'm sorry, 350 grams. What am I 350 grams, 349, I'll take it. I said 150, didn't I? Wow, I swear I've done this before a couple of times. You guys gotta believe me. All right, now we wait for it to drip. Again, we're super excited to have Regalia on fellow drops this week. Every order, 100% of the profits go to helping them rebuild their roastery, because just so much energy and time is put into perfecting this craft that we call roasting coffee, and to see it all go in one tragic and fateful night is really, truly horrible. So if we can help them build it back up, which we will, right? It'll be back. Then, yeah, we're excited to help them out, and we hope that you're also excited to drink this coffee and also do some good for this awesome roaster as well. You want to notice a flat, even bed of grounds after you're done, as always, right? That implies that, or that means that you didn't focus too much on one area and not enough into another area, which means probably more even, actually truly even extraction, right? I'm gonna pre-warm my cup, right? Because every vessel should be warmed up before putting hot coffee into it. Let's see how this is tasting. I'm gonna pour myself just a little bit in my Big Joe mug. It is funny that I chose one of the biggest mugs that we sell. Big Joe is 12 ounces. So I have a 12-ounce mug, which is really cool, double-walled ceramic, handmade, copper bottom, but I only have this much coffee in it right now, which is helping to aerate it, right? Because it's got a wide mouth and I'm getting the aromatics in. Ooh, yeah, this is definitely that citrus acidity on the nose. Definitely like a little bit of the prune, but mostly like sugary fruit, like towing between sweet and tart. And it's just such an aromatic experience. Ooh, there's that grapefruit actually. That's the citrus that I was smelling. Anyway, let's get to it. Oh yeah. See, it starts off really, really punchy. And then it tapers down again. And as it cools down too, because that was the first sip was kind of hot, but as it cools down, it mellows out a little bit. It starts out really punchy, that sugary fruit, that like prune tartness this time around, which is interesting. And yep, and then it tapers down into the citrus acidity like a grapefruit. And now what's lingering is that Genmaicha green tea. Wow, just an experience start to finish. If you want less of the punchiness, right? If you want less of that like sugary fruit right up front, definitely go back to a 22 or a 23 gram in to 350 gram out ratio. So it's like about like a 16-ish to 1. That'll probably put forward a little bit more of that like tea-like florally nature of the coffee. I was just feeling like something really fruity today. And this whole week. As always, it's super easy to order from Drops. All you have to do is text us back. We love hearing from you. The number of bags that you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. I mean, we're not here to judge. We're just here to give you good coffee. Just text us back before the window closes on Tuesday, and we will send you coffee. If you don't text us back, we will not charge you. We will not send you coffee, right? Because that's how we roll around here. Again, all of the profits from this week's drop go to Regalia's rebuild effort of their roastery. So again, a win-win situation. You get good coffee and also you get to do some good in the world. And thank you so much for joining me. I have been and will continue to be Haley from Fellow Drops and from Fellow. And if you have any comments or suggestions, we love to hear from you in the comment section. We do read them. It warms us up to see everyone responding so much and so thoroughly to our videos. It really feels like we're connecting with y'all, and we love that, and we love your suggestions. We'll be back next week with another brew guide for another Fellow drop, and yeah, I'll see you then. See ya.